showed with the federal dollars. Do we have any discretion with those? Can we like maximize the efficiency of those dollars? How does that work with the federal dollars?
Well, I guess when we talk about the projects, we do have a fair amount of latitude on how we spend those projects. It has to be transportation. And there are the federal dollars have lots and lots of rules with it. But the choices that we make on how to spend those dollars, there's a lot of factors that we make. We look at safety, number one. We're looking at how can we support economic growth in Tennessee, trying to address congestion. After we take care of our system off the top, it's about balancing investment across the state. We look at those three major categories, and West Tennessee doesn't need Memphis, East Tennessee doesn't stop in Knoxville, and Middle Tennessee can't get all the money. So we have to spread those dollars all across the state to make sure that people in rural areas and urban areas all get transportation services from those dollars.
But I think the answer to your question is, with those federal dollars, most of that we have discretion over. Okay, most of those dollars, like I said, as Commissioner said, there are dollars to begin with. They're just sending them back. Most of that we have discretion. There are a few programs that are designated specifically for things like there's a thing that funds some alternative transportation, some greenways and other things, and some air quality grants that specifically have to be used for those. There's some people who have said, well, why are we talking about all this when we're spending money on all these other things? There are a few things that come from federal money that we could only use for those things. But the vast majority of the federal money that he showed in the TDOT budget, we get to decide how to spend.
Is it at risk at all? Does it come by population?
Well, it's
we're about a 2% state. There's a master formula that's I couldn't begin to explain, but we get about 2%.
And ironically, we're one of 50 states, so we're 2% there. But if you do the population divided in the country, there's about 6.5 million people in Tennessee, a little over 300 million people in the country. We're about 2% of the population. So as a state, we're kind of dead average. We're way better than average as a state in terms of population. And so we're getting pretty much our fair share there. Our issue with the feds is they haven't passed a long-range plan, and so we don't know what to count on. Good question. Anybody else? I won't keep it open. I want to be sensitive like Representative Matlock and Senator now since some folks have been here a while. I don't want to keep you all day.
Oh no, we'll stay.
Bringing more chicken?
Until the ball game.
All right, good. So we're good till 6 o'clock Saturday. All right, I'm going to wrap us up, but I will stay around here. I'm sorry, somebody else have something?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Governor, if you don't mind, Harry Roth, John, Blount County. I want to thank Representative Ramsey for bringing up the 60% of our roads in our secondary area of Blount County that don't accommodate bus transportation. And also, I think Senator McNally's point that the original purpose was a user fee. And I believe almost a third of the federal money is being used to provide bus transportation in the 4 major metropolitan cities who are not paying any user fee. So I would ask that you consider, reallocating those federal resources to areas in the rural areas, because the last time I looked, the majority of the deaths in the state of Tennessee occur on secondary roads. And when I tried to bring this up previously, 10 years ago, I was told, well, the allocation of resources go based on car miles driven, and there are more car miles on the interstates than there are on the secondary roads. Governor, I would ask you to consider the fact that Tennessee lives matter more than the car miles driven to determine the priorities of Tennessee citizens. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'll start this. We actually, if you ask how we prioritize projects, safety is first. I mean, we look at a lot of factors, economic development, a lot of things, but at the end of the day, safety is the first criteria. You want to speak to that with the federal money?
Sure.